Edward here from earviewer.com. I have another video for you. I'm experimenting with an idea that I have of utilizing the emotional sensation of curiosity. I've worked with this before, but I'm back to it and have some different ideas that I'm working with. My idea is that I want to use the force of curiosity to tunnel through the subliminal barrier, through the limen, through the threshold. And so what I have in mind and what I'm experimenting with is that I have a target or the input. The input is acquired. The input begins to journey through the mental processing realms. As it's going through the processing realms, it's triggering interest. Something is getting triggered, something interesting there. And it begins to stimulate interest. If that interest gets strong enough that I can become aware of it above the threshold, I become aware of it. It becomes strong enough to trigger my curiosity. What I'm looking to do then is utilize my own curiosity to tunnel through the limen, tunnel through the subliminal barrier, the threshold, to that pocket of interest, and attempt to experience what it is that I'm interested in, that is at this range of time and space, that is at this location. That's what I'm attempting to do. That's what I'm attempting to do in this session, and I'm going to continue on with this. I'm very interested in this. This is kind of what I'm obsessing about right now. So what you'll see in this session is an input is acquired. It is stimulating interest. My curiosity does become involved. But what is it that I'm interested in? The thing that I like most about this process is that there is something there that I'm interested in, and I'll go and experience it, and I'll learn something from it. There have been many sessions where I've learned things about people or locations, even that I'm aware of, people that I'm aware of, but I worked them as a blind viewing target, and I learned so much more about things that I couldn't have learned just from reading a book. That's what this process means to me. So in this session, the target was the Mania Strait, I believe it's called. It's a body of water that moves between the island of Anglesey, I believe it's called, and the mainland of Wales. So it's this kind of snake-like tidewater that moves between these two bodies, and it rises and lowers with the tide a couple times a day, I think twice a day. And that's what I was interested in. So the dimensional sensation came through of the shape of the strait. The momentum and the movement that was happening in there was triggering my curiosity. There's a big bridge that goes across it. That wasn't, it's just not interesting to me. But the way that the movement that was happening within this thing, that's what was curious to me. That was interesting to me. That was what was pulling my curiosity through the threshold. And that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the force of the emotion of curiosity to tunnel through the barrier, the subliminal barrier. That's what I'm interested in right now, and that's what I'm going to do a series of these. I'm going to continue working with these and just keep working with it to see what comes about. So that's what this is about. Again, I want to thank anybody who's contributed to my FundMe page, my PayPal.me/Edward Reardon. For people want to support my work, I greatly appreciate it. But that's what this is about. I'm looking for ways to manipulate the threshold, to tunnel through the subliminal barrier, that force that keeps us in this state of awareness. That's what I'm looking to do, and I want to capture it on video. That's what all these videos are about. I'm attempting to capture things on video that have never been captured on video before, or at least not that I have seen. Be able to describe them as I'm experiencing them, and then you can see what is taking place based on what it is that I'm attempting to perceive. So that's what this is about, and I hope you find it interesting, and many, many more to come. Okay, I have a target. Test. We have a target, and this experiment is an attempt to tunnel through the subliminal barrier, utilizing the sensation of curiosity. So the input stimulates interest. The input stimulates interest below the threshold. The interest triggers curiosity. Curiosity tunnels through the barrier to the interest. And then the input comes through the curiosity tunnel. Okay. So there's something here at this target that I'm going to find interesting. So I have to wait for the sensation of interest to be recognizable below the threshold to the point that it triggers my curiosity. (7101) round, flat. This is a random thought. Pillow. Moving, flat, round, deep, oval, open, curved, green, yellow, flat, tubular, flat area. Moving, washing inside, angular, rectangular, large, windy, airy, flow of air, spiky or pointed, looping, glassy. 710. Inside, glassy, spiny. And this is giving me a comparator of dinosaur bones. I don't know, I can't spell. Dinosaur bones. Spiny and spiky. Something like that. Something there like that. This is an idea word here. Reach or reaching. Keep going with the sensory dump here till I can sense the interest stimulant. Wide, angular purple, deep and dense and solid ground, furry, moving. So I'm getting this kind of an idea of like are animals dinosaurs or something spiky like that. Alright, keep going. 7101. Looping. Inside. Narrow. This is another idea here. Belt. Or a turn. Turning. Curved. Dense. Alright, I don't know, I'm not sure about this, but we'll just put that up here. Looping. Turning. I'm getting image comparators from this of like a Amazon jungle river. You know, there's stuff around here, around the edges. That kind of thing. We're going to go for another sensory here. I'm still looking for a below threshold interest to be stimulated. I feel that it's a little bit saturated. There is a target. There is something interesting there to me. I want to stimulate that interest. Stimulate the interest. 7101. White, brown, black, silver, open, narrow, twisted around. Lapping or covering. Green, misty, yellow, black. This is kind of coming in like a random canister. Canister. Flow of air. Flow of air. Like flow of air, like it could be related to this. When the flow of air comes around, flow of air comes around. Curving, am I? It's the idea here. Something coming around. Around a bend. Something coming around a bend, kind of like that. Movement of air. Is that what I'm curious about? Just the airflow? This movement around. A movement around. Try. Like a pipeline or getting an image of like a toboggan. How we respond, but it's coming around. Is that it though? There's this movement there. A movement or toboggan or skateboard. You know, that kind of in a like that. Like around like that. All right, I don't want to get lost in that image comparator. It's the interest. Seven one zero. Down, angular, large, fast moving, large, windy, long, tapered, grooved, plastic, angular, large, glassy, plastic, down, swerving kind of a feel. Image compared of a snake. But what is am I curious about them? These are kind of dimensional sensations, but the curiosity though, the winding. It's snakes. Winds. There's movement with it. That's my curiosity, is the movement in here. The movement in there. If it's airflow, or if it's squirming, like a snake, or a reptile. But that movement, going in this groove, like that toboggan. Or skiing, that's another comparator. Too low. Something like that. Slalom course, I think it's called. Slalom. Slalom course, you're kind of, the movement is inside of this tube. I'm inside of a tube. Inside of a tube. Going along an edge. So I feel like going around like that. That movement, that's what there's an interest there. The curiosity is there, but it's kind of minor. Coming around a bit. of movement, full, kind of a flowing movement. In more comparators like fish, it's something that moves like that. This movement, it could be. It's the movement that I'm curious about. Free flowing, fast. It's like being on a ride. It's like a ride. Go ahead and end on that. So the movement is the interest. The input has stimulated an interest. The interest is a type of movement. Curiosity is the momentum of the movement. Momentum. Like here. It's like being pushed. It's like being pushed through. Like being pushed through a hose. Or a tube like that. There's like a momentum or a pressure that is pushing something through. Momentum, pressure. Behind something, pushing it through. Pressure. Like that. Pressure, momentum. Comparators like, man, the momentum, the pressure, the pushing, pushing something through, momentum. Like a kinetic force around the movement. Around the movement itself. Like kinetic force. With the momentum. shooting out. Pouring out. Image comparator like a boat race. It's a comparator in my mind of this momentum. How something moves. How something moves. That's the interest. How something moves.